Hello future CS, welcome back to my channel again. Your one-stop guide for everything related to CA exams. If you are new here, I am Pooja, a chartered accountant. I have an experience of working for Ernst& Young and KPMG, and I help CA aspirants like you succeed with practical tips, strategies and support. So in today's video, we'll discuss the most important AFM chapters and topics from the IBS point of view. So as you all are aware, ICAI conducts various webinars for CA final students. In one such webinar, ICAI experts revealed AFM chapter-wise important topics from the IBS viewpoint. So guys, if you are preparing for the CA final exam, this will help you understand which areas to focus on for the IBS case study based question, and it will also help you understand how to link the AFM concepts with IBS scenario. So let's get started. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Every subscription works like a motivation for me and it also makes my day. So the main objective of this AFM paper is to acquire the ability to apply financial management theory and techniques in strategic decision making. So various theories like cost of capital, time value of money, all these are important, and also dividend decision which we had studied during our CA interlevel. This is also very important from the IBS point of view. Now we will go chapter by chapter and let's see how the concepts can be linked to the IBS paper. So first we have chapter number 1, financial policy and corporate strategy. So actually this is a theoretical chapter and generally questions will be related to financial policy, corporate policy, and also one more important point here is value creation. This topic is also very important. And then we have sustainable growth rate. So from IBS viewpoint, this topic is also important. And then this value creation. So you might be given case studies which revolves around these topics. Now let's move on to the next chapter, that is risk management. So this topic is important because every business involves risks. No business can exist without risk. Therefore, risk management plays a crucial role. So here we will basically focus on financial risk. So this topic is important here, financial risks. Though there are various other type of risk as well which a business may face. So in this chapter, different type of risks has been listed. Keep in mind that the list provided in this chapter is only illustrative, it's not exhaustive. So risk can arise in different forms and it can be unexpected as well. So it is essential to understand the various risks to which a company or a business proposal may be exposed to. Now we'll go ahead with the next chapter, chapter number 3, which is advanced capital budgeting. So this chapter deals with advanced capital budgeting, which is built on the basic concepts of financial management, which we had learnt in the intermediate level. So in real business situation, several practical factors like inflations, technological changes, government policy, these all affect the investment decisions. So these topics are important here. Inflation, and then impact of change in technology, and then changes in the government policies. So basically, this topic focuses on how to incorporate risk in investment decision using various methods such as certainty equivalent coefficient, risk adjusted discount rate, and sensitivity analysis. So ensure you go through all these topics. And it also introduces the concept of adjusted present value, which helps to evaluate projects considering differences in financing structures and tax benefit on debt. And also additionally, one more topic covered here is, which is important from IBS viewpoint, is this optimum replacement cycle. This is also very important. So this concept actually helps businesses to decide when to replace assets. such as vehicles or machinery, to minimize overall cost and maintain efficiency. The optimum replacement cycle helps to determine the best time to replace existing assets, such as machine or vehicle, to minimize overall cost. It involves deciding how frequently an asset should be replaced to ensure efficiency and cost effectiveness. For example, companies which relate to cab services may need to replace their fleet every few years. So you will have to analyze cost and benefits, and you have to decide the ideal replacement interval that will keep the operation smooth and expenses under control. So there might be case scenario in which the industry might be relating to this cab service industry, and you might be asked question on optimum replacement cycle. Then the next chapter we have is chapter number 4, security analysis. So this basically focuses on evaluating investments in stock market. So actually this topic becomes more relevant if the company's core business involves investing funds. So in case you have any case study in which it mentions that the company's core business is investing, that time only this topic will be relevant, as it will help in analyzing securities for long-term and short-term investment. However, for most of the companies, investing activity is a non-core activity, and such analysis is usually handled by consultants or specialists. Next we have chapter number 5, security valuation. So this topic is quite relevant from the IBS viewpoint. So basically it covers the valuation of shares, debentures and preference shares. So these concepts are important here. Valuation of shares, equity shares, valuation of preference shares, and then valuation of debentures. And also companies with excess funds may need to decide whether an investment is justified, making this area particularly important. Also, this chapter explains the concept of free cash flow, including free cash flow to firm and to the equity. So this section is also important. Discount rate selection in relation to cash flow. So this free cash flow concept helps in estimating future cash generation. So while the valuation of bonds and debenture may not be highly significant from the IBS viewpoint, it's still important to have basic understanding of these concepts, especially since this is open book exam and question can be application based and it can be from any topic. So basically it's better to have some conceptual understanding of these bonds, debentures and equity. And also you can thoroughly go through the concept of this free cash flow, which is more important. Then the next chapter is chapter 6, portfolio management. And this is also very important from IBS perspective. While it is usually taught in the context of stock or share portfolios, its core idea is diversification to reduce risk, and it is highly relevant for businesses. So by understanding the concepts like systematic risk and unsystematic risk, company can use portfolio approaches to mitigate business risk and make better investment decisions. So it is very important to understand the different type of risk here. So this chapter provides a clear understanding of how to manage and balance different opportunities effectively to overall reduce the risk. So here you have to go through the different investment avenues, because you might be given a case study where there might be a question as company might have sufficient funds and it might be looking for various investment opportunities. So you will have to analyze and suggest them a particular investment opportunity from where they can get optimum returns. So here we have to go through the different investment opportunity, whether it's real estate, gold, private equity, REITs, hedge funds, so on. So you have to analyze that. So you should be able to analyze that and provide the necessary information to the company so that they can take the correct investment decision. Now we'll see chapter 7, securitization. So this is also a kind of theoretical chapter, but it is also very important. So one important concept here is sources of financing. So basically it involves transferring company's receivables to a special purpose vehicle which then issues securities to investors. So this process helps to convert non-liquid assets into liquid fund. So understanding this topic is important from IBS point of view, especially when a company wants to explore alternatives to traditional financing. So rather than traditional financing like equity, debentures, loans, if the company wants to explore different investment opportunities like SPVs, that time you can explain this concept to the company and you can give them an idea as to how they can invest in this SPVs. And also one more important topic in this chapter is this tokenization. So basically it is a blockchain based concept where transaction once verified cannot be altered, hence providing security and transparency. So having a basic understanding of both of these special purpose vehicle as well as tokenization helps in identifying innovative financing options. The next chapter is mutual funds, chapter number 8. So this is also relevant for IBS. While dealing with especially high net worth individuals, since these high net worth individuals often have surplus funds, so they may prefer mutual fund investment as a safer and more convenient option. So in this case, there might be a case study where you will have to play the role of a fund manager and you will have to handle the portfolio decision of these high net worth individuals. And also you will have to do the performance tracking, risk management, while the investor simply purchases the mutual fund units. This makes the mutual funds more attractive investment avenue for individuals who want professional management of their money without being involved in day-to-day investment decision. Since you will be the fund manager and you will be taking the day-to-day decisions for them. Next we have chapter 9, derivative analysis and valuation. So this chapter focuses on understanding how derivatives like forwards, future options and swaps are used. And it is mainly for hedging rather than speculation. So all these terms are important here. Forwards, futures, then we have swaps. So from the IBS perspective, the key idea is to know how these instruments help manage business risk related to stocks, currencies, interest rates or commodities. So all these topics are important here, commodity derivatives. This topic also introduces real options. So this topic is also important, real options, where option concepts are applied in capital budgeting. That is timing or abandonment options in projects like R&D or drug testing. While detailed valuation may not be tested, understanding how derivatives aid in risk management and decision making is essential. Next we have chapter number 10, that is foreign exchange exposure and risk management. So actually this is one of the most important topics from IBS point of view. So you have to go through this chapter. It focuses on managing risks the businesses face, especially while dealing in foreign currency, such as during imports, export, or setting up subsidiaries abroad. Understanding the concept of foreign exchange exposure and the methods used to manage or hedge these risks are crucial, as effective risk management helps protect the company from losses due to currency fluctuation. Next we have chapter 11, international financial management. So this is also important from IBS point of view, especially when a company plans to set up operations or invest outside India. So basically such cross-border projects involve several financial and legal, that is FEMA related and tax consideration as well. And from a financial standpoint, this topic focuses on evaluating international projects where cash inflows and cash outflows are in foreign currency, making them subject to exchange rate fluctuation. It also discusses decisions like whether to borrow funds in India or abroad. depending on the cost and feasibility. Hence, understanding the concept of international finance center such as gift city is also very important. These centers operate with special financial rules to facilitate global business. And additionally, this chapter touches on the MNC working capital and treasury management, which deals with managing cash and liquidity efficiently among international subsidiaries. Next, we have chapter 12, interest rate risk management. So the businesses are exposed to interest rate fluctuation whenever they borrow or invest money. So basically this chapter explains both traditional and modern techniques used to manage and minimize such risk. So the concepts here are very simple. Focus on developing a basic understanding of how changes in interest rates can impact companies' financial position and how these risks can be effectively controlled or hedged. So next we have chapter number 13, business valuation. So this chapter is also very important because during an enterprise strategy process, a business may either acquire or sell another business, and in both the cases valuation plays a crucial role. So if a company pays an excessively high price for an acquisition, it may struggle to survive in the long run. And conversely, it's quite rare to acquire a good business at very low valuation. Hence, determining an appropriate and fair valuation becomes essential in IBS. So, there might be a case study where you will have to apply the different valuation techniques and you have to suggest the company which is the most optimum one. So, various valuation techniques are covered in this topic. There is no single universal method. In practice, a combination of methods is often used, as each approach may yield different values. So therefore, it is important to analyze multiple approaches, consider other relevant factors and then arrive at a logical conclusion regarding valuation. And you should also have a clear understanding of concept of the economic value added, which is widely used in IBS to evaluate business performance and managerial efficiency. So having a basic idea of how economic value added is computed helps in assessing the performance of different business segments more effectively. Additionally, valuation of distressed companies and startups is also discussed in this area. Another emerging concept to be aware of is ESG, that is environmental, social and governance factor. While this is a relatively new term, it is increasingly being integrated into valuation practices. Hence, understanding its role is important from an IBS perspective. Next, moving ahead to chapter number 14, mergers, acquisition and corporate restructuring. This area is highly relevant because it involves multiple aspects such as corporate law compliance, tax implication and financial evaluation. For instance, during an acquisition, it is essential to determine how many shares should be issued and whether cash consideration should be paid. The topic also covers financial due diligence and valuation, both of which are critical for making sound business decisions. Another key concept here is special purpose acquisition companies. These are entities formed specifically to acquire other businesses rather than operating their own. Additionally, divestiture, which is the opposite of mergers and acquisition, involves dividing or selling a part of the business to create value. Concepts such as ownership restructuring, going into private and leverage buyouts, where management buys out a company using borrowed funds, are also discussed. Basically, a well-known example of this leveraged buyout is the Tata Chorus deal. So you can go through this concept as well. Finally, the topic introduces cross-border mergers, emphasizing how restructuring and strategic acquisitions can help unlock value and strengthen overall business performance. Chapter 15, Startup Finance. So in today's world, startups have become a major focus area. This have actually replaced the traditional long journey from sole proprietorship to partnership. Then to private and public company. Earlier, businesses had to rely heavily on banks and meet several formal requirements to get funding, making the process slow and challenging. However, today's startup can secure funding based on their innovative ideas and business potentials, where investors readily provide capital to promising ventures. So it is important to understand the concepts of startups, unicorns, and various Government of India initiative supporting this, which is crucial from an IBS point of view. Unlike traditional businesses that depend on conventional funding sources, startup often rely on startup finance models such as venture capital, angel investors, and crowdfunding to fuel their growth and innovation. So guys, that's all for today's video on AFM topics from IBS perspective. I hope this video helps you to study smarter and connect your AFM knowledge with the real world business integration cases. If you found this video informative and useful, don't forget to like and share the video and also subscribe to my channel for more CA final focused strategy videos. All the best for your exams and I will see you all in the next video.